Hello and welcome to an episode of Origin Spotlight. I am your host, B. Zelda. My pronouns are they, them. And I am incredibly excited today because not only do we have a fabulous person, their talent is insurmountable. Alan, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just really tired. I just got in from Gen Con last night. So,
Have you slept yet?
yeah, I mean, I have a kid at home, so I was right back into taking care of her for the
Are you
most part.
sure you've slept?
I feel like
You're
I
telling me
slept.
you haven't if you have a kid as well, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple hours in, so that's all I really need. So,
Okay, that recharges like one battery out of 10. That's not bad. So you're running on Steam. Fantastic.
and steaming coffee.
Yes, that's the way to do it. That's how I survive conventions too, you know?
Yeah,
Steam
that's
and
just
coffee.
normal. So,
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
I mainly write and illustrate my own series called Ancient Ones. I've been working on it for I've been writing it for a number of years, and I've been illustrating for the last 8 years or so.
That's
Um,
incredible.
well, that everyone always is like, "Whoa, you learned so much," but it's like I'm actually trained as a graphic designer, so I
Ah,
did that for over 20 years before I started illustrating. The illustration stuff was came from me just messing around one day, and I was doing a lot of fan art back then, and then
mhm.
my one friend was like, "You're doing this art, which means you can totally illustrate your own stuff," and then it's just really good mentors who stuck with me and helped me get better. So I didn't look so stupid, I guess. My
I
early
love
stuff was
that.
really bad. I mean,
So
even I knew it was bad. So
what came first then, the writing or the art?
well, I started the idea for the stuff about almost 15 years ago
Oh
now.
my goodness. I don't have anything that's lasted 15 years, like not even a cat.
Oh
That's an
well, I
impressive
mean,
amount of time.
it was literally pages of notes for this thing that would become bigger than it is now. Initially, I love mythology, so a lot of my earlier stuff was heavy on the Greek myths and
Cool.
Egyptian mythology. And then I had a cousin who was like, "You're Indian, so why aren't you leaning into Indian mythology?" I was like,
When people say mythology, I'm always so disappointed. But they're like, "Yeah, I only know about Greek and
"Yeah,
Roman myth. Like, there's so much more culture out
there's
there."
so many
So
more."
shout
So
out to your cousin for being like, come on."
yeah. So basically, what ended up happening is I started researching Indian mythology, and as I was doing that, like we just said, there's tons of mythology. So I started researching everything. So I had like if you like I showed you the first book earlier. Like there's three books I'm working on. The idea is three books
Oh my
and
gosh,
then a fat legacy book at the end. But I started researching like there's Japanese mythology in there. There's
nice.
like African myths in there. There's tons of other cultures that I found. And I'm not using them all per se,
Mm-hmm.
but I took like interesting stories that I would read from each one. Like I didn't want to I love Greek mythology. That was the first thing I
It's
ever.
a classic. We all grew up
Yeah, I
with it
used
in
to read
like
it
our
all day.
Western school, you know.
Yeah. So Greek mythology was always the first thing in my head. And then I try to lean more into the Indian mythology because I'm Indian. Um, but then I loved like the stuff in like the Japanese mythology. There's some cool creepy stuff in there.
Are you
Which
familiar? I mean, you absolutely are. The only Japanese mythology like story I know are those raccoons that have giant testicles, or the
no,
tanukis. What? Alan, everybody knows this. The story of the
raccoons with giant.
tanukis. Well, they're tanuki, so they're what's a combination? I think it's like a raccoon meat, something cute, maybe a cat.
Sure.
And the whole
Oh,
idea is they have to literally carry their massive balls, like their massive testicles, in like wheelbarrows. And it was just a part of like history. This is the only thing I
so
know.
I'm not gonna put that in the series at any points. Don't worry.
Good, good,
I mean, maybe I should just to make you happy now, because that's a
I
thing.
would buy the book 100. I'd buy all three of them if I knew that I
Like
was going to see some
a
really,
Tanuki in
really
there at some point.
historical, yeah, Tanuki testicles.
Sure, sure.
Well, I have to ask then, what has been like one of your favorite like mythological stories, like especially ones that you've been able to integrate?
So there's a series of characters in here called the Seven Sisters. The idea of they're basically witches, but I'm trying to remember what the Japanese myth for them was, but I took the idea for them from the concept from these witches that I read about, and
Hmm.
then I evolved them into seven of them. And then I also loved. Have you read Forgotten Realms? I always loved like Menza Berenzon and the Matron Mothers. So the cusp of the idea
Yes.
came from the matron mothers. They're basically in charge of a lot of things.
Yep.
And then if you as you read the series, you realize two of them are basically defecting. They don't want to continue to save the universe the way it's been. They want to do their own thing. So they're going to start this war that starts from the inside out, basically. Um, so like, it's
Wow.
like little pieces that I take from here and there. Some people recognize it, some people don't, which is fine. I don't
Yeah.
expect anyone to be like this, like this is about this character from this myth. If you do, cool. Like
Hmm.
obviously, you know a lot about mythology, so, and I've actually, like I basically had these notes, and then I basically had these writers that I had to use to help embellish the notes. And some one guy that I work with is really good. He does fantastic writing stuff. So he's actually now teaching me how to write my own sci-fi, because
That
I'd
is
like
so
to be the
cool.
one writing it straight up from my
Yeah.
notes.
What is your
So
process like then? So like I'm imagining you take a couple of sticky notes, you write down like witch, seven,
yeah, this
maybe
wall here is full
evil.
of sticky notes. Actually, I'll give you guys a
Yes.
brief glimpse. See,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's
Oh
crazy.
wow. I thought there was
So
gonna be like five. There's
there's a
like,
lot. This wall in front of
oh,
me is full, and then you can see the stack of notebooks here, so they're full of stories.
oh my gosh, I was kidding when I said
No,
that.
I really so years ago, I have a really good friend, Eli Manaya. He sketches all day. This dude sketches from the second he wakes up to whenever, and he's so good. And I remember I was having a talk with him, and I realized that I should just be sketching and writing down all my ideas. So like even if I feel
Yeah.
like it may or may not end up in the book, I still write it down because you just never know where it's going to come into play. There's a piece that I just finished called Homeworld. It's a piece I started almost 5 years ago, and then I
Oh my
shelved it
goodness.
because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with this. And then I completed it right at the beginning of the pandemic,
Oh,
actually. And I only brought it to one show, and then it ends up in the book,
I love
and
that.
it's yeah, that's it right there. And it ends up being like a title piece that's winning. It's winning a lot of fans over. People love it. Selling really well. It's fun. It took me forever to get it to here, but that's my point. I had these things that I start and I don't finish right away, and then get back to it later.
That's so incredible though. So I am like curious about the process itself. So you write a couple of notes and then you bring like your armful of notes and you kind of drop them on somebody's desks and you say like help me and then how? Like
Well,
how does that
so the
work?
writer, so the writers basically get some information, and Darren's my main
Mhm.
guy is Darren. He's super good at what he does. So he's a um, fantasy writer. He writes RPGs. He writes all sorts of
Nice.
things.
My kind of
So
person.
his brain works to a level where him and I will go back and forth sometimes, and he'll be like, "How about if we do this?" And I'll be like, "No," because I have this idea on what I want, and I'll be like, "Write it the way I asked you to write it."
I love that. It is a conversation back and forth. It's not like you just
Yeah,
provide details and they're like, "Well, we're going to make this out of it" without your proper creative input.
yeah. And then sometimes, he'll say something where I'm just like, "That's actually good."
That's a
But what I've
better
gotten
idea
to
than
the
what I
point with
had.
him is, like I said, I want to start taking those, because basically I looked at my notes and I was like, "You've got good notes. You just need to know how to write." Which, as an
Yeah.
illustrator, it's hard to always make time for both, right? So that's the reason I used Darren was, it was like he can do what he's good at, and I'll do what I'm good at, which is the art side. But it's nice to, I would like to be able to, in theory, write the next book all by myself and be like, I wrote this whole thing. Like I definitely came with the ideas. I definitely wrote the whole thing too, right?
Mhm.
So it's a process, but like the world building side of it is, I also mentor when I have time, or when he has time, I should say, under Sean Andrew Murray. If you guys know who he is, he's got his own series called City of Gateway, which is brilliant.
Okay.
He's an
Adding it to my
amazing world
browser
builder.
history. Thank you.
Um, he's done a ton of jobs. He's so good at what he does. So I will sit with him and regurgitate all these ideas that I have had for, here's one thing I'm doing with this. And he never really tells you, like, I say this all the time, so people have heard me say it over and over, but he never really tells you like what to write. He won't be like, why don't you do this instead? He'll
Okay.
ask you questions first. He'll be like, why do you want this to happen? Like, where does this take us?
I love that. Leading
So,
questions to make
yeah. So
you
you're
do
not
the
just
work yourself.
right. So you're not just creating things for the sake of like you're not just like, then there's 5 lions and they come together and they form a giant robot, right? Like, why?
Which, well, cool. I do want some more
Yeah,
depth to
what
it, you
purpose do
know?
the lion? Yeah, if anyone thinks that's all Voltron is, please go watch Voltron. It's amazing. Um,
So much more than that, we promise.
did they get my TikTok? Someone asked about. Oh, okay. So here's a funny story. Somebody has my TikTok name still. They have not yet. I'm emailing somebody back and forth who works
Wait,
for
wait, wait, wait,
TikTok.
wait. What's the
So my
situation?
handle on all social media is Alan Panakal Art. So you can
Yeah.
find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, except on TikTok. Some dude's squatting on my name.
That's so
Give me
weird. Are
my
they
name,
actively
dude.
using the account?
No, they're just sitting on it. There's no
Oh,
videos there. And I've reached out a couple times and politely said, hey, can I have my name back, please? I will send you some art. I'll send you a book. I'll pay you if that's what I need to do.
yeah.
I don't really use TikTok per se, but I thought it'd be nice to show like process videos or something on
It
there.
is a really, I say this grudgingly, but it is an incredible platform to grow on.
Yeah.
The user
So
base is there and they will engage. Just but like your art is gorgeous, and to be able to show, like I love watching, even just like show me what it looked like at the beginning and then show me the end. I will waste 60 seconds on the regular watching that kind of content if that's what you provide.
yeah. So I want it. So right now, Alan Panicle is my name on there, but I luckily I ran into this dude named Rick. I can't remember his last name, at Dragon Con, and he was
Hmm.
just like, "Hey, I happen to work with people who work at TikTok," and I was like, "Can do you know anyone in security? Because I need help." So he's yeah, it is. Oh, that is Rick asking the question. What's up, Rick? I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, that's so
So yeah,
funny.
so I am in communication with them. I'm hoping that they can, because I said, hey, this dude's not using it. I've got a few videos up because I was just testing it,
Yeah,
and I told him I'd like to use it more. But I'm definitely all over social media. I tend to get more hits on Twitter and Instagram.
that
I
makes sense. What else is there? Don't use face. Don't use.
Facebook, I
Don't
hate
use
it.
face. Don't do it.
So
I'm
I only
sorry to
use
people that
Facebook.
use it, but like,
I mean, I only use Facebook for I have a podcast of my own called
yeah.
Panakal, a podcast for geeks. And I talk about all sorts of geeky shit on there. Oh, can I swear on here? I'm sorry.
I've been swearing for the past
Okay.
many episodes and nobody's told me otherwise, so you're probably okay. Just don't get gratuitous and you're fine.
Yeah. So basically I found out on my Facebook fan page there, I've got like 800 followers. So I use it for when I do the videos because
Nice.
people are finding me there.
Okay.
Otherwise, I can't stand Facebook. It stresses me out. So
It's not a
um,
healthy space, and I say this like any of the other social spaces are healthy, and that's a lie, but
I mean, if you control them, like so, like on Twitter, I set up lists, so I only see what I want to see. Um, Instagram, I
I'm
really
familiar with that premise, but I've never actually had anybody talk to me about it.
so you make like an artist list, you make like a writer's list, you make like I have like a
Huh.
geek list, I have like a science list, and you go into your list. So you only see what you want to see with what you're following in those
Oh my
lists.
goodness.
Stay
I
away from the
might have to do
homepage.
some
So
cleanup. That's
it
incredible.
helps a ton. On Instagram, I only follow really artists
Hmm.
and people I know. So if there's an occasional model that's in there, somebody I know or somebody I met at like, there's a bunch of models on my list because I met them all at San Diego Comic-Con, and
Nice.
they're super nice people. And
Yeah.
um,
They probably do great art, like body art, like in terms of
yeah, I mean, they're
themselves.
great for like reference photos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So stuff like so like yeah. Trying to think what else I need to tell you guys, but I
Well,
got a book out. I kickstarted it
yeah.
last year. If anyone
No, I
hasn't seen
love
the book,
that. I have some more
um,
questions about the art
yeah,
itself. Like, how
sure.
was that? Like, how was creating the art? Was it overwhelming? How
Um,
long did it take? Was the pandemic really difficult to even motivate yourself? Like, how did you succeed these past 2 years?
Pure luck. No, I mean, the art itself came from, like I said before, I was a graphic designer. So I have so like a lot of people always be like, your compositions are great. You kind of had the idea for how it should look and that. I think part of that I'll give to the graphic designer side of me. And then some of that chunky style comes from, I used to do a lot of graffiti as a kid. So like I kind of mix those two together. But early on, I was doing a lot of like pen tool and Illustrator and making
Yeah.
shapes. But as I started learning more, one of my mentors was like, we can do all this with a lasso tool. So a lot of my stuff is lasso tool and then
Really? I'm
brushworks.
familiar with that, and I gotta watch YouTube videos. Okay. Okay.
It's probably not the best way to do it, but it's the way I know how to do it right now.
Yeah.
And then like the traveler piece that's on the cover of the book, like he's probably the only time I've spent a lot of time doing some brushwork in there because
Okay.
because like I wanted to make him I was like, I want to be this cool fantasy artist or sci-fi artist. I wanted to highly render this character. But then, I was talking to one of my mentors once, and he was like, "You overly rendered this character. Like, that's not you who you are. Your style is
Interesting.
very like the shape language is kind of missing. It's there, but kind of got lost, if that makes
Yeah.
sense."
No, absolutely.
So I keep him the way he is because I still love that piece because I learned a ton from it, right? But like this piece that's up right now is an old piece. It's called Lumeria, City of Orbs, and the only brushwork I really did is some stuff on those orbs and in the background, and then some of that electrical moving,
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's all just shapes and gradients, and the colors are the fun part, but also the tedious part. Because I'm like, I don't really. People are like, "Do you have a color scheme in mind?" I'm like, sometimes I just wing it,
I like
man.
that.
I
That
just throw
speaks to
some
the
color
heart.
down. I'm like, let's see where this goes, right? But then I
Hope for the
also have an
best.
idea. You got to kind of be like, what kind of world? It's like I obviously love purples and pinks because I
Getting
like
those
synthwave.
vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I try to I had to so the homeworld was a piece, and where I kind of moved away, and there's another piece called Mangala, which is like this harbor town. Um, those are pieces where I finally moved away from that specific color scheme to try something different.
Okay.
And so it was a little
Nice.
uncomfortable at first, but it works. Yeah, this piece right here.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
if you look at the
So
value
good.
scale on this piece, it doesn't work. The grays do not. The grays are too close to each other, but I would have to tell you that for you to know that's
Yeah.
a
Also, I'm
problem,
still
right?
looking at this with like an untrained art eye, and I'm like, this still looks really nice. I would wear this on a t-shirt. Like that's.
Yeah, I mean, it's everyone. So at Gen Con last week, everyone really loved this. I had printed on a giant piece of metal,
Wow.
and I like it because it's one of those pieces again where I was just like, okay, don't put any purple in here, and I still got a little shades of purple at the bottom,
There's
but
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
I snuck it in. I snuck it in, but like I was trying my hardest not to go to the synthwave color scheme, right? Like the
My
classic scheme.
personal favorite, like my
Yeah.
background.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's easy for me to do. I would just pick those colors and run with it, right? But I was like, here's a challenge. You're trying to do something different. So like even the next piece, now the next I started a character piece again, and I haven't done characters in a while. So
Yeah, the way you talk about character pieces, it doesn't seem like it's something. It's not that you don't enjoy it; it's just not your specialty. So, like, is
it's
that more
landscapes are my
difficult?
specialty. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fairly difficult for me. I'm still learning. I don't sketch as well as I should. I'm still learning a lot. So
Okay.
shapes I can do because I also do a lot of like photo bashing and photo reference. If I need like the tree I went and took a photo of a tree in Chicago. I live right by Lakeshore Drive. I
Yeah,
literally walked out there, shot a bunch of trees, and used them as reference to make a tree.
that's
So
excellent.
the traveler, who's my title character here, his name's Rohan Matthew. I obviously don't own a spacesuit, so I had to research spacesuits, right?
Yeah, go figure. I'd be very impressed if you did own a spacesuit.
Everyone has asked me to wear a spacesuit in my booth, like with the helmet and stuff, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it
What's
sounds
stopping you?
cool. I mean, I had to wear that thing for 10 hours.
Well, maybe install some fans in, around the armpit area or something.
I mean, it'd be brilliant right now for the pandemic, but at the same time, I was like, that
Right?
still feels uncomfortable. So, um, but that's kind of part of the learning process too, right? Like anyway, you should shoot reference for everything. If anyone tells you you're cheating by shooting reference, doesn't know what the hell they're talking about.
I like to hear that. That's good.
If you're not using reference, man, you're doing it wrong. And I learned that lesson the hard way because I was listening to a lot of people who are like, no, you can't photo bash. No, you can't use photo
People
reference.
online get mad about that. Like, I'll dip into art Twitter
Yep.
sometimes, and like I'm looking at it from an outsider perspective, but it's a lot of gatekeeping, and it's about content that I'm not familiar with. But references is something that I can recognize, and I see it come up from time to time.
And that's, it took me a while to be like, I had again, my mentors were always like, don't, you just gotta kind of put that stuff out of your head because
Good.
you gotta focus on that people do it all day. Like even some of your all-time favorite fantasy artists was reference. Like there's a whole thing with oh man, why am I not remembering his name? It's a big deal fantasy artist.
I only know like one, and it's like Brad something, and he does like Magic the Gathering art.
No, he did who's the guy that did Death Dealer? Wow, Frazetta, Frank Frazetta.
Fun
So for
name. Okay.
years there was a whole thing where he was just like, I don't use reference for anything because he's got all these muscular dudes and girls in his paintings. And people were like, wow, it's amazing. You're drawing these just amazing
Like
structures
anatomically
off the top.
correct. Yeah.
And then when they went through his studio after he had died, there were just tons of reference photos.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
So
just
why
like,
the shame? Like, why is it
why
such
the
a bad
shame,
thing?
right? Why the shame? Exactly. So it's like, if you got a problem with reference, you can yell that to the aether because I don't care.
Yeah.
But so that's one step. And the other step, a lot of digital artists, I'm a digital artist, so we do photo bash a lot because sometimes you just have to. That's what we,
Okay.
like, the home world piece has a ship in there that's literally got a toaster in it. You wouldn't know that unless I told you.
I love
I like
that.
took apart a toaster for parts.
Oh my
It was a
goodness.
broken toaster, so don't worry.
Most toasters are like, I don't think people make toasters anymore. I'm positive everybody just owns toasters from like the early 2000s and the 90s. So you're
Yeah, I
good.
mean, but like, like, so that's that part of it. That kind of, there's random things in my work that just, you wouldn't know what I started with. So like, I have a piece called Morning Star. I started with a ship model from Super Art Type, but then I also added, like, there's a lamp part in there. There's some legs from something else,
Oh
and
my
that
goodness.
actually comes from Sean's teachings, because he would be like, look around. You can literally look around your room and find all sorts of wild things to shoot and use as reference. You just
Okay.
gotta, you'll get it takes a minute, but you get an eye for it after a while. It's
Yeah.
harder to explain. It's easier if you like do it.
I understand the concept. Yeah, it would be the execution for myself personally. I'm like, okay, I could. It's just it's fascinating to me. So I really love to hear about that kind of process because when I think of art, I just watch like people on YouTube doing like quick draws of something else. So
Yeah,
like
see,
I
I don't that's the skill set I wish I had. I wish I can sit there and be like, here's Batman,
yeah.
I know what Batman looks like, but in my head, I still need to kind of like see him to draw him. I
Yes.
can draw him; it won't look as good, but if I see it and draw it, it will definitely look much better.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the shape thing was cool because, like, I learned now from when I started doing that more and more with Sean. Like, when I'm walking around outside, my friends have seen me just randomly pull my phone out and take photos of, like,
Like
just
nonsense stuff.
nonsense stuff. Exactly. Like, why are you shooting that pipe, or what do you see in that corner?
Oh
Like,
my
I've got a
goodness.
folder full of things like that, and I don't like. I'm working on a piece right now from these. Like, I saw these. Like, I went on a trip with my family and some friends, and I saw these, like, round flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers they are, but
Okay,
they
I
were
don't know
all
flowers, so
bunched
you're
up
good.
like giant
Carnations?
bushes. They were at this resort. In my head, I zoomed in real tight, and I'm working on like a treetop village kind of thing. But I
Ooh.
mixed it with some stuff of a factory we saw on the way there, so it's kind of got this cyberpunk feel to it
Yeah.
with the organic feel, and that's what I'm talking about. It's just so random, but my brain was like, you can make something with this. So, but I took the photo because I'm like, you may not, it might turn into complete garbage when you get to work, but you have to take a shot at it. Just take the photo, right? Like, and if you do it enough times, you start doing that over and over. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
took a ton of reference photos at Gen Con last week. So,
Smart. There'd be so many just odds and ends there too.
dude, there's
I think that's
they have
brilliant.
like these random portal looking things sitting outside, and the portals fit perfectly in my world. So I took photos of their gates. I don't know what the
Yes.
hell they are. They were there. And I was like, oh, that's a portal. I'm taking a photo of that. So,
Any portal's a good portal. I dig that. So with Origins Game Fair coming up soon, what is going to be like? What are you doing at that convention? Where can folks find you there?
well, I'm the artist guest of honor. I think I'm smack in the middle.
Yes.
I will have the book that I've been talking about for the last 5 years. I think I've been doing Origins. I think this is my fifth year at Origins.
Oh my God, that's
Um,
impressive.
yeah, it's either my fourth or fifth year. I can't remember. I consistently have been plugging this book that I finally got kickstarted
Oh,
during the pandemic. And then I really just am bringing new artwork and then new like products. But my goal always is to win over some fans. Like,
mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, like, obviously, I say this all the time, but money's always been secondary. Like, making the art, because I love making the art, has always been first. And then I always say everything else will just follow. Like, I never try to, like, when you're my, like, people at Gen Con recognize this one guy figured out I wasn't trying to force a sale on him. I never try to like force a sale.
You're not like a sleazy car salesman.
I want you to buy the art because you like the art, right?
Yes.
I want you to walk away like, I really wanted this thing, because I have these. For example, I have these giant pieces of metal hanging behind me. They're printed.
Yeah.
They glow. Not these per se.
Okay.
They're at the Gen Con show. I have them at every show. I'll have them in Origins. They look like they have a glow to them because of the way my vendor prints them really fancy, but
Okay.
they're $1,000 each, and people are always like, that's a lot of money. And in
Yeah.
my head, I'm like,
But also,
somebody who wants that piece will really pay that money and take it, right? So
absolutely.
And I had a couple people at Gen Con. I sold a few at Gen Con, but each person who stopped by, I was literally just like, hey man, if you want to buy it, I understand it's a huge cost. If you don't,
Hmm.
like you don't have, you actually don't have to buy anything from my booth. Just sign up for
Yeah, come
mailing
by, say
list.
hey.
Yeah, or so you can learn more about the series. And obviously, I'm in the business of selling things. That's what I have to do as an artist. I
Still got
have
to
to
pay some
still,
bills.
yeah, you still got to pay the bills. So, but my point is like if you don't do it because you really enjoy doing it, if you put the money first, people are gonna feel that out really quickly.
Always,
Um,
yes.
so hopefully, I feel like at Origins, I've got enough. I've got a lot of fans, which is nice. And I'm just hoping to meet up with them again and talk to people about because I got tons of new
Yes.
stuff and I want to talk about the news stories. Now that the book's out, I want to. Gen Con was nice. I met a bunch of people that read the book, so
Oh,
it's
that's
nice to
so
talk to
cool.
them about the stories that I've been talking about for 5 years or so,
I
right?
love that. So folks who received the book, would they have received it through the Kickstarter fulfillment?
So yeah, so a lot of people got a. I had 200 backers on Kickstarter, I believe, to get it
Nice.
going. And then the rest I've just been moving at shows. It's really online sales have been really hard, but I don't know the online game that well. I need to learn
Okay.
how to market that better.
Yeah.
But at shows, I mean, people are snagging them, which is great. Hopefully it moves more. Books are heavy, man.
That's the thing. Like, I
So
love the idea of buying books online, but like, I don't even live in the States. So, like, shipping it to Canada is going to cost me the price of like buying an entire horse.
yeah,
Uh,
Canada has got a very expensive rate for shipping
I just want to
anything. It's
buy all
always
the
like $25
books.
or more.
Yeah. How am I supposed to support somebody when I'm buying like so it's just it's frustrating. So like is there a PDF option of your book available too for folks who can't quite
There was a
commit to
PDF
the
option
Mhm.
to the folks that were on Kickstarter.
Ah,
I've been thinking about opening it up. I gotta figure out how to like. I don't know if I need to secure it or not. I just gotta
mhm.
trust the base not to. And at the end of the day, I don't really care if somebody shares it because it
If
just
you
means
could
people are reading it.
watermark it based on whoever purchased it and like individually, like it'll be watermarked with like their name. That's always a smart idea. I
Yeah,
know, oh God, distributors like Kobold Press do that, I think.
maybe. I mean, it's something I've considered it. I just haven't done it. It's nice to
Yeah.
be connecting it.
No, that's fair though. So like if I am somebody at Origins Game Fair and I want to purchase some of your stuff, what kind of things am I going to see at your booth?
So I've got prints, obviously, books. I've got playmats.
You have playmats too? Oh my God,
Dude,
sold.
I got tons of playmats. I've got sketchbooks.
Nice.
I made some pencil cases for Dragon Con, and they've
Okay.
just been following me everywhere. I needed product at the booth, so I was like pencil cases, for your art supplies. But then they kind of sell, they kind of don't.
I love that. It's so hit or miss. Like I would never I don't need pencil cases. Like who needs pencil cases? But I
Some
know
people bought it, but I was just like,
yeah.
okay, man. And I print a lot of my stuff on metal too, which is
Oh, that is so cool.
for my colors, it really pops. And it's hard to like tell you what it looks like. It's just a visual thing, man. If you see my booth,
Yeah.
it's like it glows basically. So it fits the branding and it fits the world. The world is, I'm inspired by synthwave and outrun styles. I have a lot of what you call it 80s nostalgia in there. I grew up in the 80s, so I
No,
love that
that
kind
speaks to
of stuff.
you.
So, yeah, so I'm hoping people feel that vibe when they're there, right? So
Ugh. I'm not, unfortunately, due to just country things, I won't be able to attend that convention in person. So I do
sure.
ask, will you like upload photos of the booth? Because like I need to like
Yeah.
live that through you.
Yeah, I mean, I did upload some photos to my Instagram. If you go there, it's there. They're on Twitter as well. But yeah, I will at Origins. I have a 10 by 20, so it's gonna be the biggest booth I've ever had.
Ooh, oh my God, that's so exciting too. Like that speaks to your growth as well. So like congrats, that's wonderful.
Thanks.
Well,
What's up,
is there any
John?
Yeah, hi John. I don't know if we're quite connected.
Yeah.
But one final question. So Alan, if folks want to support you, how can they do so? Like socials, do you have a website?
So I have
What's your
socials.
TikTok?
Yeah, my TikTok. Wait till I get that fixed.
Yes.
But I'm Alan Panakal Art everywhere. I do have a Patreon. That would probably be if you go to my
Smart.
website, it's ancientones.net. You can buy stuff there if you want to. But Patreon, I think, is like one of the easiest ways to support me because it's like $2, man. It's $2 a month, and you get to see all the new work and the new stories as I'm creating them. I do my best to post at least once a week, so as
That's
to
good.
just stay on top of it. It keeps me motivated, right? So, um, Yeah, I believe my name is, it's just Alan Panakal Art on Patreon as well. I try to stick
Perfect.
to Alan Panakal Art everywhere so I don't confuse people who want to.
Yeah, no, it's a good brand. But if we all know the one thing about the internet is, that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, so Alan Panakal Art on Patreon. I just double check myself,
Fabulous, thank you.
except on TikTok until I get that cleared out.
Once you get that done, like I can't even express upon you, like it's just such a fabulous platform for just like that kind of growth that you wouldn't even expect. Because it's just like 14-year-old kids that don't have much else to do. They're sitting at home. It's a pandemic. They will watch
Yeah,
anything and everything. So like I want that for you.
yeah. I mean, I've got a couple artist friends who have been using it. It's fun to watch them try like
Yes.
all the little tricks on TikTok. Like my one friend did a thing where you see an empty table and he put his hand up, and then you see some of the table and he put his hand up and you see the full booth. And I'm like, that's cool. I'd like to try that someday.
Gotta like
So
make sure you save them. Gotta save these because you're never gonna
yeah,
find them again.
yeah, that's true. They go away, right? So
It's a very transient platform. But I think that would be wonderful for you. And it was fabulous to talk to you. I'm very fascinated. Like, I really do want to like look on your website because I'm so curious about the prints that are available. And maybe shipping to Canada won't be so horrible.
yep. Okay, so I gotta do this thing. What does it say?
Yeah, so thank you so much, Alan. It was fabulous to talk to you. And up next, we have John Stacy, a very own Gamma member, a fan favorite over at Origins Game Fair.
With my cat. He
It's
wants to
John
be
and
part
his
of the play.
cat.
Yeah,
Yes. John,
Dodge
what
wants
is
to be
your
part of the
cat's
show.
name? That's the
This is
introduction that I
Dodge.
need.
You
Dodge?
can't
Like,
see Dodge. Yeah, I'll turn the visual screen off so you can actually see him. Let's do that. That way you can actually see him now. Because come on, Dodge, say hello.
oh,
There
little
he
white
is.
chin.
Yeah, he's like a little tuxedo cat. So
Oh my goodness. I love. So I people call those either tuxedo cats or penis face cats.
okay,
Um,
I think he goes by tuxedo cat.
no, no, no. That's legit. I love the little shape that they get on their face, and like
Yep.
it's just so cute. I have a black and white cat like that, and he's forever the best.
Yeah, Dodge thinks whenever I have a meeting, he has to be there. So it's funny. We have these meetings, and it's like, "Where's Dodge at?" Like, I'm here. I
Oh,
count,
we're not here for you, John.
and
We're
I'm
here
not
for
cute like Dodge
Dodge.
is. So what are you gonna do?
Oh,
Then the
that
dog's
is
here
so
somewhere too. He
marvelous.
might pop up a little later too. So
Oh,
that's
you work with
the
the full
magic.
family.
Exactly, exactly. You think so, Dodge? You think so too?
Oh, I
Cool.
love
I'll
that.
put the screen back on that way because the fan light gives me too much light behind me. So I'll do that. Sweet. So good to see you, B. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been a little bit. How have you been doing? How are you coping? How are you preparing?
I am I'm doing well. I'm coping and things are going well. We're
Oh,
like
that's so
9 days
excellent.
out, so it's crazy busy, exciting in the Origin world. So getting ready for that.
Yes,
So I was happy to be on here for the show tonight to kind of share a little bit about what we've been working on, talk a little about the safety stuff, and just some answer some questions you might have about the upcoming show.
absolutely. Yeah, the countdown has begun. I
Definitely.
know everybody is ready. There's still, I believe there's still volunteers that we have some space for. So if folks are interested, we would be more than happy to have you on our team. But in terms of like, so we show up to the convention, we're filled with excitement, we don't know what to do. How do we proceed? What kind of safety precautions are we going to encounter?
Sure. So when you show up, we say welcome to Origins. And so we actually have signs that are explaining the different safety protocols. We it's mandatory masks. The city of Columbus
Perfect.
actually is under a mask mandate from citywide
Oh, that's
for,
good.
for indoor spaces. So that's nice because when you go to the restaurants or you go out to the hotel, people should be wearing masks as well. And that helps extend that safety bubble outside the convention center.
Exactly. No, that's genuinely reassuring. I like to hear that.
Mm. And then the convention itself has spent close to $700,000 upgrading their air filtration system with the HIPAA filter. They have these
Awesome.
really cool handrails that are self-sanitizing on the escalators. Now, I'm not
What?
saying, I saw somebody that posted they were going to do a lick the handrail challenge. I'm like, I would lick the handrails, but they self-sanitize. And the way
You
it works
make me, I
is,
would lick it though.
I know.
John.
We're not recommending it. We're just saying you can if you choose to. It's your choice.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, but every time it rotates, it sanitizes because it has like this infrared light that goes under on the bar
Oh,
and
that's
just
brilliant.
cleans the rail, which is kind of cool. They've upgraded all the HEPA filters, so it's like hospital level quality ventilation in there. And
Good.
so and we have these area air movers that actually will be in the larger rooms to circulate the air around in the room to make it safer for people, almost like being outside. So we're pretty jazzed about it, actually.
Oh,
So
that's so cool. I'm still really caught up on the escalator railing.
mhm.
As you were describing that, I was imagining that it was going to kind of dip itself in some sanitizer, and then everybody
Right.
just has to touch this really, really moist railing. So your method is much more preferable and
Yes,
quite
light is much
it's
more efficient than liquid. Yes.
yes, incredibly so. Shout out to the convention center for those upgrades. That's excellent.
Absolutely. The other thing that we've done is we've spaced out the areas more, because we've got about 80% space we normally have. So we've got
Mhm.
a lot of space to spread out in. And we've taken the area that normally was the largest hall, which is our exhibit hall in the past. We've actually made that our gaming area. So that way
Oh,
we can
that's
have
so
about
nice.
8 to 10 feet between the tables to give us more space. So we've got a lot of open gaming spaces. We've got a lot of space for people to spread out, have fun, and meet people and play games. So it's
Oh,
just
I
pretty
really
cool.
like that. Will
Yeah.
there be like hand sanitizer stations in all the rooms? Like,
Yep.
classic
Yep.
things.
In the rooms, in the hallways, all spread out throughout the convention center.
Oh, that's so perfect. So I have to ask then, John, what are you most excited for? Because we've got safety covered. Like, things over in Canada are kind of getting whack in terms of COVID. So, like, to hear that Ohio is handling this so well is honestly warming my heart. Like, that's lovely.
The thing I'm
But
most excited about is the sense of community, people coming together and to play
yes,
games. I went to Gen Con over the weekend to see how, and we've been working closely with them on our safety protocols. And so
mm,
we're part of a consortium of about 5 of the larger conventions. And we've all been working together for over a year now, figuring out how to make this as safe as possible. And so I went over to meet with them, talk about how they were doing it. And a lot of things they were doing, we're implementing as well.
yeah,
And so we have a lot of contactless activities. For example, in the
good.
past, we had a site book that was printed. Well,
Hmm.
this year we're doing a digital site book. Not only is it better for the environment, by not killing trees,
Right?
you don't have people picking stuff, handling it, putting it down, people touching it, and all that kind of stuff. So
Hmm.
we're doing contactless site books. We have a really cool app that is going to be rolling out next week, which will have maps and locations and things. That way you can use your phone to find stuff
Oh,
around the
I
convention
love
center.
that.
And then we've also gone, so we're actually not accepting money, cash, because
Oh,
we want a cashless for the registration as well as for the merch store. It's all electronic.
yes.
And that way we're not putting, canning caches and all that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, this
lots
is
of
the
safety
future that
ways.
I've been dreaming for.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we're hoping eventually get to play. We actually have electronic ticketing. So just scan those badges, but we're not there yet this year. I'm
Okay.
hoping by next year or the year after, we're going to go strictly electronic for everything. So yeah, it is
I
the future,
have
and
to
Adam's
say,
excited about it.
what about my lanyard? Am I not gonna have to
You
wear
get a
one anymore? I
lanyard.
love
You get a lanyard.
lanyards.
Chip
Okay,
Theory Games is sponsored the lanyards this year, so you're gonna have a Chip Theory lanyard with their branding on it, which is really cool. They
awesome.
look awesome. They've arrived in the convention center. So yeah, I'm excited people getting together in community and just playing games and just having fun again, because it's been so long for us to come together. It's almost 2 years since we were last together in Columbus. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
jazzed about that.
Oh my goodness. That's gonna be excellent. Do you partake in any of the games, any of the events, any of the panels?
Well, I get to go to some of the panels.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't have time to play the games, for the most part, which is hilarious. I go to Game Kitchen, I can't play games. I'm so
Right?
busy. But I do demos. I walk around the hall. I talk to some of the exhibitors. And I play demos
Oh,
because we've
cool.
got close to 200, close to 240 exhibitors, and a fair number of them are doing demos.
That's
And so it's a good
incredible.
opportunity to walk to them saying, "What's your latest game? Show it to me in like 5 minutes or less." And then I can do those kind of things. But I can't sit down and play a 2 hour game. I'm just too busy at the position to do that, unfortunately.
I just imagine you don't ever get any time to stop. You've got your most comfortable shoes on, you've got good walking pants, and you're just stopping at every vendor, 5 minutes sanitize, five
Me and
minutes
my water bottle, and
sanitize.
we're on the road. Yep,
Yes, hydration too. How? That's actually a
absolutely.
really good question. I have like a memory of going to conventions and they just had like water fountains, or sometimes they had like the little like you like press a button and water would come down.
Mhm.
Will there be like water provided? How is that going to be
Yeah, so throughout
handled?
the convention concourse, there are a number of the water fountains that actually have the water bottle attachment. You can put your water bottle under it, and again, contactless
Nice.
because we want that to be safe. You can fill
Yeah.
your water bottle and then go on your way.
That's incredible. I'm just so impressed with the small, like, these are small changes, but like they are so incredibly meaningful, not only for like the space, but like this is
Yeah,
something that they can utilize over and over. And for folks who are kind of unfamiliar, just
right.
stepping into that, they will immediately feel comfortable. And I think that's a really, really good move on y'all.
Cool. The other thing I just want to say is, you mentioned, what do you do when you first arrive? So a week before the convention, this Friday, we're going to email to everybody who signed up a barcode, and you take that up to the self-serve kiosks.
Mhm.
You scan it, and it automatically prints out your badges. So you don't have
Oh,
to have someone hand
cool.
it to you. You can just get them yourself. That's another thing we're doing that's really cool for people this year.
That's also a very futuristic thing. I'm used to waiting in line for 10 years and then talking with somebody and they have to go down to paper, B, B, B. Like, it's just, my
At
goodness.
least like going Zelda, 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 right? So at least you get
Yeah.
the front of the alphabet with the B.
Ah, that's excellent. Well,
Yeah.
can you
So
tell
for
me?
pre-reg,
Hmm,
it should be really quick for pre-reg. Now we are doing on-site registration. So if you haven't registered yet, you should. If you
yeah,
haven't, you can just show up, get in line, and wait in line, and then get your stuff that way too. If you're old school like I am, but I like the whole technology of the pre-reg.
it just makes everything go faster. If I could do everything online, I would.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about the hotel confirmations, especially for GMs.
Sure. So we actually just finalized this week all the hotel reservations for the GMs, the volunteers, our special guests, and some of our sponsors. And so they should be getting in the next few days an email which will have all of their codes, the hotels, the check-in times, and all that sort of thing. And then they can call the hotel directly if they need to make any changes to that reservation.
Ah, awesome. And is there like
And
a hotel that?
the cool
Go
thing is
ahead.
most of them are going to be staying in the Jury Inn, which is attached to the convention
I was
center.
just gonna ask that.
And the Jury Inn actually offers complimentary breakfast, which all the GM volunteers are going to love. So they can eat breakfast there, and then they have a 5 o'clock what they call kickback. You can actually they have some beverages and appetizers in the evening. So it's going to be really nice for the volunteers and the GMs this year to be in that hotel.
It is so easy to forget to eat at
Yes,
conventions. You're playing
absolutely.
games, you're seeing friends, you're excited. Next thing you know, it's 2 in the morning, and you're like, what? I think I'm hungry. So that
Yeah,
is an excellent accommodation that you're providing, or even just like the hotel provides. I think that's marvelous.
absolutely. Yeah, Jury is one of our most popular hotels for that reason alone.
Ah, I love that. We have a quick question in chat, and it's just why not get the barcode sent to your email so that you could just use your phone?
You can use your phone if you want, because as long as
Ah,
you have the barcode, you just scan it. I know we use the same technology when we for our business show in
mhm.
Reno in 2020 before everything closed down, and it worked really smoothly.
I love that. Just anything where I don't have to print stuff off, I don't have to lose stuff, like that appeals to me,
Yep,
except for the lanyard. I go to conventions often for the lanyards. I know it's silly, but it's proof that you went there, you know? Like
yep.
games, people, it's great, but nothing makes it real until you have that lanyard with all the little stickers that you can get at different vendors.
All the pins, everything. You got my lanyard right
Yes.
here. I'm all ready to go. So I agree with you.
Ah. Oh, that is so good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Ah, I love that.
The other thing is that it's still you can still time register for events. We have a
Yes.
lot of events that are still available. We have over almost 2,500 events this year, which is
That's
phenomenal.
incredible.
We also have close to 300 events that are online only. And so if you are in person or you want to do or just remotely, you can log in and play games with your friends on Discord or Roll20 or any other platform that the various GMs are offering them on.
I like that. So how is that going to be set up? Is it sign up online and then wait for the email from the GM to kind of have that facilitated? You'll get like a date, a login with like
Yeah, I'm
Roll20
pretty sure
or
the way it's set up is, and I'm going to say this with the caveat that I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it says you log into your account, which has information for the events, and there should be, I think, a link in there to whatever the platform they're using, and you just click on that link at the time your event to start.
that's
I think that's how
perfect.
that works for that. Yeah, but Adam, he's doing all the backends here. He's actually coordinating all of our Origins Online programming, and so we're going to be broadcasting of different things that are recorded at the show this year on our platform, on our Twitch channel, as well as on our Eventney platform. And we have close to 50 vendors that are online only. So if you want to go buy stuff, you can actually go to the
What?
Origins event page, and you can actually click on the link there to get to the online vendors.
Online only vendors.
Yes.
Oh
So
my
about
gosh.
50 of them or so.
That's really cool. Do you know what one or two of the marks? Like that already, like again, that appeals to me. I want to participate in conventions, but if I can't get there in person, I'm looking towards the
Sure.
online means, and y'all have just set that up wonderfully.
Yeah, and I know like Greenbrier games are on there, Phone Brain games are on there, Yellow is on
Awesome.
there. I think Capstone Games has a booth as well. We have a number of the artists and artists. I think Alan has a booth on there. Alan Panakal, the guest just had. I think he has a
Yes.
booth on there too. So it's an opportunity to get buy his artwork right there from him right online.
That's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, that's so excellent. Well, what about vendors in person? Is there anything that's kind of stood out to you? Are you looking forward to any returning vendors?
Yeah, we've got close to 240 vendors that are coming, and the really cool thing this year is we partnered with GDAX, which is a local video game development conference. And
Okay.
so for this is the first time we've ever done this partnership. And so they have a whole section of video game developers and companies that create video games will be at the show for the first time. And then they
That's
have
so
this
cool.
special area in B Hall, which is the game area. They're doing like Smash Brother tournaments, Mario Kart tournaments, and so lots of video games you can play there.
Oh,
Now
you're
we are, of
after my
course,
heart.
we're obviously a tabletop division primarily, but you pay one badge gets you basically into both shows, and they have their own exhibitors and their own seminars and workshops and all that. But primarily, we have lots and lots of tabletop games and seminars and workshops that you can go to as well. So lots of cool stuff. So talk about the vendors. We've got, I said The exhibit hall is about 83,000 square feet, so it's lots of room for
Oh,
shopping.
yes.
Make sure you come and to pay and buy stuff and all the cool fun things.
Bring a
Um,
big suitcase.
yes,
Pack it half with clothes, the other half with games.
exactly. Well, it's funny because there's a FedEx shipping thing right in the store. If it gets too much, you can go ship stuff right from the convention center back to your home.
That's an option.
Yeah,
John, my
it's
whole
kind of
life I've
cool.
just struggled. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we told them to stock up on boxes. They're going to need us. We told them.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. So, yeah, any vendors that you are specifically looking forward to? Because, like, you're not going to be able to visit every single one of them, but if there's like one or two that you get to go visit, like some, like maybe any repeat vendor, what are the ones that you're going to try and check out?
Well, I'm looking at because I know I've started playing. Well, I played a couple times the King of Tokyo by Yellow, and so they have this dark version. It's the collector edition. So I'm going to see if they have any of those there, so I can pick one up for my own little shelfie collection.
Oh,
That's one I know for sure. A Green Ronin is going to be there, and they have some really cool games around Call of Cthulhu and some other things like that. Some role playing
yeah.
games. So I'll check those out. But they also have the new Expanse role playing game, and so I want to take a look at that as well because I really love watching the Expanse, and so I want to see what the role playing game is
Big
and what interesting
fan.
things they have. So lots of cool things to check out.
Oh my goodness. I'm kind of incredibly jealous. Big fan of The Expanse, the TV series, the book, and now that I know like Green Ronin has been published, like they published the Expanse game, I'm trying to acquire people who will play this with me, and it's not easy. It's not always easy on that. I gotta look for like games that have already been set up. If there's something running online, for Origins Game Fair, I might have to pop into a game.
Absolutely, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, and I really want to check out the artist alley too because we've got like 25 artists. I'm looking for a new piece of art to put in my office at work. So
Ooh.
I have this big blank space on my wall. Like, I want to put something there. So I know what kind of size space I have. I want to like artwork that fits that space. So it's cool. So I got the poster from this year's show. I've got that frame. That's in one side. Then I put some next to
Oh,
it. So that
that's
way,
cool.
I know that that's the year I bought it from because it matches the poster for the
Oh,
show this year. So
that's wonderfully dorky, but very appropriate, you
it is
know?
indeed, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so excellent. Well, what about some of the seminars then? Because I know there's a bunch of panels that are going on. Are
Yep.
there any that you're going to drop into?
Definitely, definitely. So I'm a huge book nerd, and so we have the authors, the Origin Library. We have 12 authors who are coming, and we do an anthology every year. They write a short story, and so
What?
I've already got my copy. I'm gonna walk around and get all the authors to sign to put in my little book collection.
That is so
Um,
cool.
but they're doing a couple different workshops on how to be a writer, how to get a story, how they get ideas for stories, how they market their books. So I plan on spending whatever free time I have. I'm going to actually be in the authors area, listening to their little presentations and all that stuff, which is really cool. Our author guest of honor this year is Maurice Broadus, and he is a person of color author from I think Indianapolis, and he has a series of book called the Knights of Britain Court. It's the book, and I actually have it on my shelf here. I started
Ah,
reading it, so I want to have it ready to have it finished to get it signed next week when he's in town. So
I love
I'm pretty jazzed.
that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's gonna be fantastic. It's just little things like that. Like that's you have that to look forward to the convention. And that's really what makes it all worth it. Just
Hmm.
like that sense of community, feeling safe, and being able to look forward to things like that. Like that's so
Absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah. I'm really jazzed. We've been waiting for a long time to bring Origins back, and it's a little smaller. It's a little different this year, but we're really excited to come together, have some fun, and play some games, and just see people again.
Yes. And just to confirm, is this the first year that it is a full kind of like that's online and in person, like that you're kind of handling the two at the same
Yep.
time?
It's the first time we're doing a hybrid show together, so really jazzy.
No pressure, Adam. I'm sure you'll do amazing.
Alan's a rock star. He's not gonna have any pressure at all, right, Adam?
Oh, I love it because we had somebody in chat that was just asking if your in-person badge will also give you access to online content.
Yes, it does. So you can actually get the same calendars. You can sign up for the things. If you want to go back to your hotel room and sit and play a game, that's cool too. If you need a little break from the crowd, you can go and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also have a quiet room. So if it's just too much, because when people are
Oh,
coming
I
back, we understand
love.
that. But on the second floor, I think it's in the C pods. There's a room set aside just as a quiet area. You can go sit, decompress, take a few deep breaths, recollect yourself, and then go back and have some more fun.
That is a really smart idea. As somebody who gets overstimulated in convent, it's just there's lots of people, there's lots of sounds, there's lots of. I live my life in my bedroom, like I don't leave. So the quiet room is truly an essential thing. So it's just like these are small things that you're thinking about for this convention. I think like it,
Yeah.
it goes a long way, and people do notice.
Yeah. The other one thing is if you want to break, I also recommend going to the film festival. It's on Friday, Saturday.
Yes.
We have 50 films being screened at the show this year, which is amazing. It's the largest number we ever had. And they're also going to be screening them online too. So if you can't make it to Columbus, which we hope you can, but if you can't, we understand. You can actually go on to our website, get the link to actually watch the films online.
And is it a watch along? Like, would you be watching with other folks at the same time?
Yes, I believe that is correct.
Oh, that's so much fun. So it's like you're basically in the room with these people. You can still trash talk, whoever you're sitting with online about like how fabulous this film is. Love.
Yeah, so there'll be more information about the film festival on our website as well as in the site book, which will come out this Friday, I believe. And you can go in there and get all the details about how to access the videos online, or if you're here in Columbus, to which room to go to watch the videos in person.
Perfect. Oh, that's excellent. And then I know a personal thing. If there was anything that I want you to talk about, it would be the cosplay contest. Are you going to show up? Are you going to make an appearance? And are you
Yep,
going to
yep,
dress up?
absolutely. I actually might dress up.
Ah,
I won't say what I've got, but I've got an outfit I think maybe about wearing on Sunday. So just to recognize me walking around in my costume. But so we're having one of our guest judges is Monica Paparaki, who is our cosplay guest of honor out of Chicago.
yes.
She makes some amazing cosplay costumes, and so she's one of the guests of honor, and she's gonna be doing some seminars. But she's also going to be the person doing one of the judges for the thing on Sunday afternoon, and it'll be recorded and you can watch on demand on our platform after the show. So yeah, so you can't make it there. I highly encourage you watching. There's some amazing, great people who get involved in the costume contest.
Excellent. And then this is a bit of a strange question, but this one almost
Uh oh.
pertains a little bit to me and like folks online. It's not super strange, but like I want to be able to see all of the content that folks at Origins Game Fair are posting. Is there a hashtag that I could look up? Like
Yes. It.
come
Yeah.
convention. Oh,
I think
oh.
it's. I think, and I'm going to double check this, but I think it is hashtag Origins Game Fair. I
Perfect.
don't
There's
think it
no
has the
year in
year
it.
on
It's
it.
just
I don't think
okay.
it's because we had the year on it before, and the thinking was that kind of limits us because it's basically year specific. We want to make just general. But
Yeah.
you can see past years as well when you go do searches for it.
Oh, that's really smart. So John, when you come in dressed up as whoever you are gonna post online. You're gonna use that hashtag, right?
I am indeed. Yes. I have my little phone, taking my little selfies and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
My wife's like, "Put the phone down." Like, "Oh, I'm taking pictures." So yeah,
It's for work, I promise.
sure it is. She says, "Sure it is."
She knows.
Unfortunately, she knows. Yeah, we've been married a long time, so she knows.
Read right for you. That's so excellent. Well, what else would you like to kind of talk about or plug for Origins Game Fair? Like, I know we still need some volunteers. Is there anything else that we kind of need to get everything going as smooth and
Sure.
impeccable as possible?
Yeah, so we've got over 150 volunteers, which is amazing, but we still have plenty of room. People want to help out. For volunteers as little as 4 hours, you get a day badge, you get a cool T-shirt, this nice little souvenir for thing. And if you volunteer 16 hours, you get invited to the volunteer party on Sunday. We're
Oh,
actually giving out. We have a ton of swag that's been donated by different publishers. Get some free games, hang out with the volunteers. It's gonna be a real fun way to kind of finish off the show this year.
yes. Ugh. Gosh, you're really killing me. I'm gonna be
I
online
know,
for
I know.
everything because like that's the only way I can connect. I just want to be there touching all the games, all of the lanyards, and then sanitize and then rinse and
Yes.
repeat, you know?
Yeah. But the cool thing is, I know it's not cool we had to move the fall, but we did. But it's only 8 months until the next Origins. It's not a full year to wait. So we're back in June. So
Done. Sold.
yeah. So yeah. And I told
Oh,
that
that's
to the
excellent.
staff today. I said, it's only 8 months to Origin. They're like, another one. Because they're so doing this one, right? So they're like,
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
like come on, it's gonna be cool, exciting. I'm like, yeah, let's get through this one first. Absolutely. But it's only 8 months away. We'll have another one because we're gonna open up badges and event registration this fall in December. And
Wow.
then so it's just right around the corner. We're gonna start planning for 22. And we love people's ideas. If you have ideas what you'd like to see at the show, any kind of events you want to have, you can let us
Mm.
know. You can send an email to events@gamma.org, and our events team will look at those and see if maybe we can make them happen. Like we tried this year to organize a axe throwing event.
What?
There's an axe throwing cafe just on the street from the convention center. So
Okay.
we're trying to organize a bus of people going down there and have a party, throwing axes and drinking, have a lot of fun. We're going to do this whole dwarven tavern theme is what the plan
Yes.
was.
Oh my
A cool thing this year,
gosh.
we actually found there's a local Drake Brothers meadery, and they're doing a mead making things like honey wine, and you can go to that kind
Oh.
of thing. So there's a lot of cool things in Columbus you can do. We're trying to incorporate more of those into Origins.
Absolutely. I want to do both of that. I want to make the mead and then bring that to the axe throwing competition and then
Yeah,
kick ass.
yeah. Now we had one event scheduled this year that unfortunately didn't pan out, but we're going to try to do it for next year. Just outside of Columbus is a place called Old Caverns. It's actually an underground tunnels you can go into. You can rent it out
What?
and actually play D&D in there. That'd be kind of fun to have our own little adventure party going in there and playing D&D and having dinner and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So we're
I
shooting that for
know
next June.
A
Our own
previous
version of True
convention did
Dungeon.
that. So,
Yeah,
like, if you ever need a DM to host Dungeons and Dragons in the catacombs, please, please, I will dress up like whoever lives in catacombs. Like a skeleton, a drow, I will dress up like them both.
sweet. That'd be fun. But yeah, I just learned about that, and then I found out, oh, we're not doing. Oh, we'll definitely do it for next year. So it's on our
Yes.
roadmap for 22. We think that'd be
Oh
a
my
really
god.
fun outing. Yeah. But the cool thing is
Please.
also, since it is October in Columbus, there's a lot of Halloween things going on
Mm-hmm.
because it's the first weekend. But at in the Brewery District, there's two haunted houses you can go to in the evenings afterwards, which is fun. And
Yeah.
then at the Columbus Zoo, they have a water park, and they're doing a Halloween nights at the water park,
What
which are
does that
horror
even mean?
movies and people dressed up in costumes and stuff. So it's like a 20-minute drive from the convention center. So if you're in town, that's something you can do at night. Just go over to the
Oh my
Columbus Zoo and
gosh.
do their Halloween nights party.
That's excellent. Ah, so many fabulous things. Well, we just have one more question in chat, and is it can volunteers sign up on site? So folks, maybe some of their friends are going to the convention and they're like, you know what, I want to go, but I want to volunteer, and that's a decision that they're going to make the day of. Is that a possibility?
I think so. I think you should go check our volunteer page on our website to make sure,
Mhm.
because the thing is, we're trying to do background checks because we work with kids, and so we're trying to be very mindful of that. So that may be the only hazard of doing an online registration. I have to double check that. So I think my advice is go to originsgamefair.com/volunteers, and that should give you more information about that.
Awesome. Thank you. Also, background checks, you're doing your homework. Again,
We
I just
are.
like I'm blown away. Like I feel like this is just safe and comfortable. Truly.
Well,
It's
because
really, really
we
good.
provide hotel rooms for our volunteers as well, and so we want to make sure people who are safe with each other.
Mhm.
We're giving them food vouchers. We're trying to make them comfortable, make sure that they're safe. We're taking care of them, and background checks is part of that.
Yeah, you want to make sure they survive one way or another, and you're going about it
Hopefully, more than
right.
survive, want them to thrive. Want them to thrive.
That is a better choice of words. Oh
Absolutely.
goodness.
Cool. Well, this has been a lot of fun talking to you, Night B, and we appreciate your time and chance to come on and talk a little about Origins. And 9 days to go.
Yes, y'all, the countdown has begun. If you don't have a calendar, just stick 9 sticky notes on your wall, take them down as we are getting closer, pack your bags, bring your games, consider some friends, and show up and have fun.
Yeah, your own do-it-yourself advent calendar for gaming.
Yes. Don't give me a good idea. You know I will.
I bought a dice advent calendar last year for Christmas, and so every day you open it up and there's a different dice in there. For I have this cool set of 25 dice
Where?
now.
I
I
need
actually I
that.
bought it on. It was from Q Workshops,
Oh
but
my
I bought it from a
god.
game store in Georgia. I had them ship it to me. They couldn't find it anywhere else, so but I found that online. I saw it at an event I went to, and I had to order it online, all that, but it was really cool.
Yes, I need that. I don't need more dice, but I do. It's the flux.
You need more dice. Everybody needs more dice.
All right, John, thank you so much for joining me for Origins Spotlight. We are very excited for Origins Game Fair. 9 days, y'all. 9 days. We're still looking for some volunteers. Double check the website if you want to just show up and volunteer. We would much prefer if you could just kind of go peek the website, take a look at what's necessary, and then we hope to see you all there. Safe and fun. So until then, have a great rest of your evening, everybody, and take care.
Take care, everybody.